So let's talk about AI agents. Are they going to be your new indispensable coworker, or are they actually coming for your job? It's a question that's creating a lot of anxiety in pretty much every industry right now. And to really get what's going on, we have to look at this story that unfolded, with unbelievable speed earlier this year. It all starts with one single jaw-dropping number.
Yeah, this number right here, 34,168. That's how many stars an open-source project called OpenClaw got on GitHub in just 2 days. This thing didn't just go viral. It absolutely shattered every record. This wasn't just some popular bit of code, It was a full-blown phenomenon. And the story behind this number? Well, it reveals something way, way bigger.
Because what looked like this feel-good story, a solo developer hitting the big time, was actually just one battle in a massive high-stakes corporate code war. We're talking about the titans of AI here. This is a story of moves and counter-moves, where one little open-source project basically became a weapon.
Okay, just look at how fast this all happened. It's wild. We're talking about a 15-day window. In just over 2 weeks, we go from a cease and desist letter to a record-smashing viral launch, and it all ends with the creator getting acqui-hired by OpenAI. A normal hiring process at a company like that can take months. This took 2 weeks. That kind of timeline, it raises some serious questions, right?
So what was the big rush? Well, behind the scenes, OpenAI, despite being the big name everyone knows, was actually starting to lose ground. Their market share was projected to drop, while their biggest rival, Anthropic, was on the rise. And why? Because Anthropic's Claude Code was an absolute monster hit with developers. It doubled their revenue to $2.5 billion in just a couple of months. OpenAI needed to punch back, and they needed to do it fast.
And this is where the whole thing starts to read less like a business story and more like a spy novel. The project that hurt Anthropic was originally named after their star product, Claude, the social network that helped it go viral, launched by a founder from Sam Altman's old network at Y Combinator. Oh, and it turns out a third of its viral users were completely fake. And the cherry on top? Anthropic's own lawyers gave OpenAI this huge sympathy boost right when it needed it most. It was just a series of very, very lucky coincidences for OpenAI.
But look, this whole OpenClaw saga isn't just about corporate drama. It's a huge signal that we've hit a pivotal moment in technology. People are calling it the iPhone moment for AI. It's that point where a technology goes from being a cool novelty to an essential integrated part of our lives, and it's all because of one core innovation.
And that technology at the heart of all this is the AI agent. It's so important to understand what this really means. We are not talking about a chatbot that just answers your questions. No, an agent can take a goal, like, hey, find the best flights to Tokyo for next month, and book the one with the shortest layover. And then it can figure out and perform all the different steps needed to actually get that done, all by itself.
And listen, this isn't some far-off futuristic thing. According to Gartner, the adoption of these agents is about to just explode. We're going from less than 5% of enterprise apps having agents to 40% in the space of a single year. That's not just evolution, that is a revolution.
And this revolution, it's not theoretical. It's happening right now, as we speak. Apple is literally baking agentic coding right into Xcode. GitHub is letting developers assign tasks to AI agents from Anthropic and OpenAI directly inside their workflow. The very tools we use to create things are fundamentally changing.
So this is the iPhone moment for AI. Then for us, for the humans in the loop, this is an identity moment. It's a massive technological shift that forces us to ask some really fundamental questions about our own roles and our own value in the workplace. And this is it, isn't it? This is the question that everyone is kind of afraid to ask out loud. When an AI can autonomously do complex, multi-step knowledge work, what is left for us to do? Are we just becoming irrelevant?
But here's a really powerful way to reframe this, coming from researchers on the front lines. The goal here isn't replacement. Think of it like this. AI is moving into the basement of our jobs to do all the tedious chores so that we can finally move back upstairs and do the more important work.
So here is the crucial takeaway. Research from places like IDC and Stanford is telling us we aren't being made obsolete. Instead, what's happening is a massive role migration. Our jobs aren't disappearing, they are evolving. So what does that evolution actually look like? Well, it's a fundamental shift in what we do at work. We are moving away from being the doers of tasks, and we are becoming the directors of intelligence.
And the payoff for making this shift is enormous. Research from both Gartner and IDC shows that AI agents are on track to give the average knowledge worker 40% of their day back. Think about that. Almost half your work week, just freed from all the mundane stuff.
This migration is really happening in three main ways. First, there's the managerial shift. Your value isn't in doing the task anymore. It's in defining the mission, the strategy. Second, there's a new premium on human experience. An agent can't have a gut feeling. It has no wisdom from failure. That's where you come in. And third, and this might be the best part, it's the beginning of the end for work slop. You know what I mean? All that tedious, low-value stuff that just drains our time and energy.
Okay, so knowing all this is happening is one thing. But how do you actually navigate it? How do you prepare? Well, experts from the World Economic Forum and Gartner have laid out a really clear 4-step playbook to help turn all this ambiguity into competence.
Okay, step 1, demystify the tech. Don't think of these agents as all-knowing overlords. Think of them as interns with infinite stamina. They're powerful, but they have limits. Step 2, insist on having a human in the loop. We need safety brakes, not just a bigger motor. Step 3 is all about mindset. Change the question you're asking from will I have a job to which boring tasks can I finally stop doing? And finally, step 4, experiment. You have to create a safe environment to learn how to orchestrate these new tools effectively. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. For maybe the first time in modern history, the biggest bottleneck to getting things done won't be a lack of time. It's going to be a lack of imagination. So if you got 40% of your week back, what would you create? What big problems would you go solve? What will you do at that time?